I'm Gerald Pierce, 57, and I thought I knew my son. I was wrong. When my wife, Margaret, died of cancer, my son Vincent stood in my office and said, "Dad, I need the house, the cabin, everything. I've got bills to pay." My lawyer begged me to fight him. I said, "Give him what he wants." Everyone thought grief had broken my brain. But when Vincent's lawyer read the inheritance papers, his face went white as printer paper. Let me tell you what really happened. The funeral flowers were still fresh when Vincent came calling. 3 days after we buried his mother, he walked into my home office like he owned the place, which apparently he thought he did. My son's sharp, always has been. At 32, he runs some tech consulting firm down in San Jose, drives a Model S, lives in one of those glass houses that costs more per month than I made in a year starting out at Ford. But standing there in my living room, he looked different, desperate. Vincent's my son from my first marriage. I was 25 when he was born, young and stupid. His mother and I split when he was 3, and I didn't get serious about life until I met Margaret at 29. We married after a year of dating, and Margaret treated Vincent like her own son for 28 years. Better than his biological mother ever did, if I'm being honest. "Dad, we need to discuss the practical matters," Vincent said, adjusting his expensive watch. That's what he called dismantling 3 decades of marriage and engineering work. Practical matters. He had his phone out, scrolling through real estate websites like I was already dead. The house is worth $680,000 minimum in today's market. The Tahoe cabin, that's easily $520,000, plus Mom's life insurance, the consulting business assets from your automotive engineering firm. He looked up at me with Margaret's eyes, but none of her warmth. "We're talking serious money." I adjusted my reading glasses. Old habit from 3 decades of reviewing technical specifications at Ford, then later at my own consulting firm. When you're designing engine components, precision matters. Tolerances can't be off by even a fraction. What kind of serious money, Vincent? "Dad, you're 57, single now. You don't need all this space." He gestured around our home like it was some kind of burden I was selfishly hoarding. "I've got Lisa and the twins to think about. College funds, business expansion, private school tuition. Mom always said family takes care of family. Family takes care of family." Margaret did say that. Usually when Vincent called asking for money to cover his latest business venture or when his credit cards got maxed out. "Your mother and I planned for this situation," I said. "Everything's been handled according to specifications." Vincent's jaw tightened. "He got that from me. The engineers tell when the calculations don't add up right." "Dad, maybe Mom didn't explain the full situation to you." "Her cancer treatment left significant financial obligations." "What obligations?" "Our insurance covered everything. I reviewed every claim myself." Vincent pulled out a manila folder, thick and official looking. Inside were documents I'd never seen before. "Dad, insurance has coverage limits. Experimental treatments, out-of-network specialists, specialized medical equipment. I'm looking at $180,000 in outstanding bills that are about to go into collections." The number hit like a hydraulic press malfunction. Our savings would be wiped clean. Everything Margaret and I had built through careful financial engineering, gone. "These bills are accumulating interest daily." Vincent continued, sitting across from me like a salesman closing a deal. "The good news is we can handle this together. Transfer the properties to me, I'll manage the debt restructuring, and we'll set you up somewhere nice. One of those active senior communities with golf courses and social activities." Active seniors at 57. I was barely past mid-career by modern standards. "I need time to process this data," I said. "Sure, Dad. But remember, medical debt compounds quickly. The longer we wait, the worse the interest calculations get." Vincent stood straightening his $3,000 suit. "I'll give you until Friday to run the numbers." After he left, I did what any engineer does when the system shows critical anomalies. I pulled the maintenance records and checked every specification. Margaret had kept meticulous documentation. Every insurance claim, every payment authorization, every piece of correspondence with medical providers. She was like that, systematic, methodical. I spread it all across our dining room table and started building a comprehensive data analysis. The numbers were wrong, completely wrong. Our insurance had covered 96% of Margaret's treatment under our premium plan. The remaining balance was $14,200, which we'd paid in full months ago using our medical savings account. I had the receipts, the zero balance statements from every provider, even the insurance company's final reconciliation reports. There was no $180,000 debt. Vincent had fabricated the entire financial scenario. I sat there at 2 a.m., staring at proof that my son was either completely incompetent at financial analysis or running a systematic fraud operation. Given his MIT engineering degree and his success in tech consulting, incompetence seemed statistically unlikely. The next morning, I called Timothy Walsh, our family attorney. Tim's handled our legal work for 15 years minus wills, business incorporation when I started my consulting firm after leaving Ford, even Vincent's trust fund set up when he was younger. Good man gives straight answers without sugarcoating the analysis. Gerald, Tim said after I explained the situation, I need to see you in my office immediately. Don't sign anything, don't agree to anything, and don't let Vincent know you're questioning his data. Tim's office overlooks the Sacramento River from the 12th floor. I'd been there dozens of times over the years, but I'd never seen him look this grim. His usual engineer-to-engineer straight talk was replaced by something that looked like controlled anger. Gerald, I ran a comprehensive title search on your properties yesterday after you called. Tim opened a thick folder marked Urgent Pierce Investigation. Your house has a $400,000 second mortgage against it. The cabin has a $300,000 home equity line of credit. Both loans were initiated within the last 4 months while Margaret was undergoing treatment. The air conditioning hummed while I processed this new data. $700,000 in debt against properties we'd owned free and clear for over a decade. Properties that represented 30 years of careful financial planning and engineering precision. That's impossible, Tim. Margaret and I never signed loan documents. I review every financial instrument that comes through our household. I know you do. That's why this is criminal fraud. Tim spread out photocopies of mortgage applications and loan documents. Someone with excellent technical skills used your signatures and social security numbers to execute these transactions. I picked up the first document, a mortgage application for our house. The signature looked exactly like mine. The handwriting, the specific way I dotted my I's and crossed my T's, even the slight tremor I'd developed in my dominant hand from years of detailed drafting work. But I'd never seen the paperwork before in my life. There's more, Tim said, his voice taking on the clinical tone he used for worst-case scenario briefings. He handed me bank statements for accounts I didn't recognize. Vincent created joint accounts in your and Margaret's names during her illness, deposited the loan proceeds, then systematically transferred everything to accounts under his sole control. I studied the financial trail like I was debugging a faulty transmission system. The scope was staggering. $700,000 in fraudulent loans. Another $180,000 transferred from our legitimate savings accounts. My son hadn't been planning to inherit our estate through natural succession. He'd been systematically stripping our assets while his stepmother was dying. How is this operationally possible, Tim? Banks have verification protocols. Vincent's methodology was sophisticated. He used Margaret's illness as operational cover, claiming medical power of attorney that gave him transaction authority. He had copies of your driver's licenses, social security cards, probably some legitimate authorization forms from the hospital. Tim pulled out another file. Financial institutions see adult children helping elderly parents manage accounts all the time. The fraud detection systems aren't calibrated for this scenario. Elderly parents. I'm 57 and still running my own engineering consulting firm. What are my options for system recovery? Criminal fraud charges, grand theft, elder financial abuse under California statutes. Vincent's looking at 5 to 10 years in federal prison. Tim pulled out one more document from his briefcase. But Gerald, there's something else you need to know. Your wife suspected the malfunction. The letter was in Margaret's precise handwriting, dated exactly 2 weeks before she died. Gerald, I've detected anomalies in Vincent's behavior patterns during my treatment. He's been asking too many questions about our asset portfolio and requesting access to financial systems he has no operational need for. I've hired a private investigator to run diagnostics on our accounts. The preliminary findings indicate systematic unauthorized access. I've also implemented emergency protocols to protect our primary assets. Our retirement funds, the consulting business equity, the life insurance policies, everything's been transferred to an irrevocable trust structure that only you can control. The properties Vincent seems so interested in, he can inherit them. Along with every penny of debt he's created against them, I've run the calculations. It's poetic justice with proper engineering precision. I love you. Make him accountable for his system failures. Margaret had designed a trap with the same methodical precision she brought to every project. The properties Vincent coveted came with $700,000 in debt obligations. The real money, $8 million in protected assets, was secured beyond his access parameters. My dying wife had out-engineered our son from her hospital bed. Gerald, Tim said quietly. Vincent thinks he's inheriting $1.2 million in real estate assets. He's actually inheriting $700,000 in debt obligations on properties worth maybe $600,000 in current market conditions. The debt-to-equity ratio makes these properties worthless. And he has no knowledge of the protected trust structure. None. Margaret used a different law firm for the trust setup. Vincent's been operating with incomplete system specifications. That evening, Vincent called. His voice had an edge I'd never detected before, the sound of mental fatigue under excessive load. Dad, I've been running additional calculations. Maybe we should accelerate our timeline. My attorney says we could complete the property transfers this week. That's very efficient of you, Vincent, and those medical debt obligations are reaching critical status. The hospital billing department contacted me today. They mentioned lien procedures if we don't settle immediately. More fabricated pressure data. Vincent, why don't you bring the family over tomorrow evening? Let's make this transfer process official. Perfect, Dad. You're making the optimal choice for everyone's operational efficiency. The optimal choice. We'd run a full system test on that assumption. I spent the next day with Margaret's private investigator, Kevin Rodriguez. Kevin had been busy during Margaret's final weeks, documenting Vincent's activities with bank surveillance footage, recorded phone conversations, and detailed financial transaction analysis. The evidence file was comprehensive enough for federal prosecution. Your wife was thorough, Kevin said, spreading out photographs and documents across my kitchen table. She suspected Vincent was running unauthorized access on your accounts, so she had me install monitoring protocols. We documented everything, every forged signature, every fraudulent transaction, every violation of fiduciary responsibility. The surveillance footage was particularly damaging. Vincent entering multiple banks over a 4-month period, presenting what appeared to be legitimate authorization documents. Kevin had even recorded phone conversations where Vincent explained to bank personnel that his elderly father needed help managing finances during his wife's terminal illness. He used your wife's cancer diagnosis as emotional leverage, Kevin explained. Bank employees are trained to assist families dealing with medical crises. Vincent exploited their compassion to bypass normal verification procedures. What's the statistical probability of successful prosecution with this evidence package? 97% conviction rate. Your son documented his own crimes through electronic banking systems. Every transaction has digital fingerprints. That gave me operational confidence for the next phase. Vincent arrived Friday evening with Lisa and the twins, all smiles and manufactured family concern. Lisa brought a casserole that probably cost more to make than most families spend on groceries for a week. The kids brought crayon drawings they'd made for Grandpa's new apartment. Over dinner, Vincent laid out his comprehensive vision for my future operational parameters: a maintenance-free condominium in a managed community, monthly allowance distributions from the estate, regular supervised family interactions. Dad, you'll have zero responsibilities. No property maintenance, no financial management, just pure leisure time. It's the optimal retirement configuration for someone your age. Leisure time at 57, like I was ready for the engineering equivalent of being put out to pasture. Vincent, you've convinced me. It's time to finalize the estate transfer process. I brought out the legal documents Tim had prepared according to Margaret's specifications. Property deeds, asset transfer forms, complete inheritance documentation exactly as Vincent had requested. Vincent could barely maintain professional composure as he reviewed each document, probably calculating his projected net worth in real time. Dad, this is exactly what we discussed. Mom would be proud of this family cooperation. Your stepmother would definitely approve of these precise specifications. I signed everything with the same methodical attention to detail I'd used for 3 decades of engineering documentation. House deed, cabin title, all asset transfers exactly as Vincent had demanded. Dad, this represents optimal resource allocation for everyone involved. You're making the right choice. That's when I handed him the second set of documents. Vincent, these are the comprehensive system specifications for your new asset portfolio. Vincent's face drained of color as he processed the mortgage documentation. Each page revealed another layer of debt obligation attached to his newly acquired assets. $400,000 outstanding balance on the house. $300,000 line of credit against the cabin. Both loans require immediate assumption or face accelerated payment schedules. Dad, this can't be accurate. You told me the properties were owned free and clear. These debt calculations don't match your previous specifications. They were debt-free until someone initiated unauthorized modifications to the ownership structure. Lisa grabbed the documents from Vincent's trembling hands, her face cycling through confusion, understanding, then horror. Vincent, what is this? You said your parents had no outstanding obligations. These numbers show we're inheriting $700,000 in debt against $600,000 in actual property value. Dad, there's been a catastrophic system error. We need to contact the lending institutions, initiate corrective protocols. I pulled out Kevin Rodriguez's comprehensive investigation file, bank surveillance photographs of Vincent at various financial institutions, copies of forged authorization documents, audio recordings of phone conversations where he claimed power of attorney for elderly parents unable to manage their own affairs. Vincent, you're not just inheriting debt obligations, you're facing federal criminal charges for elder financial abuse, wire fraud, and systematic identity theft. The silence in our dining room was like the moment before a catastrophic engine failure. Everything normal on the surface while massive internal damage spreads through the system. Lisa stared at her husband like she was seeing his operational parameters for the first time. Vincent, you told me you were helping your parents manage their finances during Margaret's illness. You never mentioned taking out loans against their property. It was temporary liquidity management. I was going to restructure everything after Dad's estate settled. With what capital? Your consulting business has been operating at a loss for 8 months. That was news to me. Vincent's tech firm was apparently as fictional as his medical debt claims. Timothy Walsh stepped into the dining room from the kitchen, where he'd been monitoring the conversation as planned. Vincent Pierce, I'm your father's legal counsel. We need to discuss your options before this escalates to federal prosecution. Vincent's engineering training finally kicked in, and he started analyzing his situation with systematic precision. Dad, I can correct these system errors. Full restitution of the transferred funds, complete documentation of all transactions, voluntary cooperation with any investigation protocols. Negative, the damage assessment is complete. Then what are my operational options? Tim Walsh opened his briefcase and extracted 2 manila folders. Option 1. We file criminal charges immediately. Grand theft, elder abuse, wire fraud. You're looking at 5 to 10 years in federal prison. Complete asset forfeiture and lifetime ban from financial services. Vincent's face went ashen. Lisa made a sound like air escaping from a punctured tire. Option 2, Tim continued. You accept the property transfers exactly as executed, assume full responsibility for all associated debt obligations, and agree to zero contact with your father for the remainder of your natural life. Those aren't viable alternatives. Option 2 represents financial catastrophe. Then you should have considered the consequences before implementing unauthorized modifications to your father's asset portfolio. Lisa stood up abruptly, her chair scraping against our hardwood floor. Vincent, I'm taking the children home. We'll discuss this privately. Lisa, wait. This is just a temporary system malfunction. No, Vincent. This is you stealing from your dying stepmother and your grieving father. This is you lying to me for months about your business performance. This is you risking our family's financial stability for your gambling debts. Gambling debts. Another system failure I hadn't detected. You have 48 hours to make your selection, Tim informed Vincent. After that, we initiate criminal proceedings regardless of your preference. Vincent tried one more negotiation attempt. Dad, I'm your son. Family doesn't destroy family over financial misunderstandings. Family doesn't commit elder abuse during terminal illness either. Your stepmother spent her final weeks protecting me from your operational fraud instead of focusing on her own recovery protocols. She knew. Margaret ran a complete diagnostic on your activities. She documented everything, implemented protective countermeasures, and designed this exact scenario. You're experiencing the consequences of her superior engineering. Vincent gathered his documents with shaking hands. I'll need time to analyze these specifications. Take all the time you require. But understand that your decision matrix only has 2 outcomes, prison or debt assumption. After they left, I sat in Margaret's favorite chair and reviewed the evening's performance metrics. Every system had operated according to her specifications. Vincent had received exactly what he'd demanded, complete inheritance of our family properties. He'd also received something he hadn't calculated into his theft algorithms, complete responsibility for the financial obligations he'd created. The next morning, Tim called with Vincent's decision. He's chosen debt assumption. Lisa filed for divorce yesterday and moved back to her mother's house in Oregon with the children. Vincent's consulting business is being liquidated by creditors. What about the criminal charges? He's agreed to full cooperation with the FBI's Financial Crimes Unit. They're using his case as a training example for elder abuse detection protocols. 2 weeks later, I received foreclosure notices for both properties. Vincent had defaulted on the mortgage payments within 30 days. The bank seized the house and cabin, but he remained legally responsible for the deficiency balances, approximately $400,000 in debt with no collateral backing. Margaret's trust fund had been structured with mathematical precision. The $2.8 million in protected assets generated enough investment income to fund my consulting work indefinitely, plus establish the foundation she'd requested in her final instructions. I spent the following month researching locations for my new operational base. Margaret had always loved the Monterey Peninsula, so I purchased a house in Carmel with cash from the trust fund, $120.2 million for a property that overlooked the Pacific Ocean. The remaining assets would fund the Margaret Pierce Foundation for Elder Financial Abuse Prevention indefinitely. The foundation's mission parameters were simple: help families recognize the warning signs of financial manipulation and provide legal support for victims. We'd already processed 47 cases in the first 6 months, with a 94% success rate in asset recovery. Our technical advisory board included retired engineers, financial analysts, and legal experts who understood how family trust could be weaponized against vulnerable elderly people. We developed detection algorithms that banks could implement to identify suspicious activity patterns during medical emergencies. Vincent had declared bankruptcy and was working as a night shift supervisor at a warehouse facility near Sacramento. According to our monitoring protocols, he was living in a studio apartment and taking public transportation to work. His wages were being garnished to pay down the remaining deficiency balances from the foreclosed properties. Lisa had remarried, a civil engineer from Portland who treated her children well and maintained stable employment. She'd legally changed their last names to remove the Pierce family connection. Smart operational decision. Sometimes I wonder if Margaret would approve of my current operational status. Then I remember her final letter, her meticulous planning, her determination to protect our family legacy from internal sabotage. I think she'd run a performance evaluation and conclude the mission was executed within acceptable parameters. The foundation has expanded beyond my initial projections. We now operate satellite offices in 3 states, with a technical staff of 23 investigators and legal analysts. Our caseload has grown to 312 active investigations, with an asset recovery rate of 91%. Last month, we helped a retired machinist in Phoenix whose daughter had forged his signature on reverse mortgage documents. The month before, we assisted a former aerospace engineer whose son-in-law was systematically draining his retirement accounts through fraudulent investment schemes. The operational patterns are depressingly consistent. Family members exploiting trust relationships during health crises or cognitive decline. Our detection algorithms have been adopted by 47 financial institutions across California and Nevada. Bank employees now receive training to recognize elder abuse indicators, adult children who suddenly appear to help with routine transactions, unusual account activity during medical emergencies, power of attorney documents that seem overly broad in scope. We've also developed early warning systems for families, simple protocols that elderly people can implement to protect themselves. Require dual signatures for transactions over $5,000, maintain separate emergency funds that only they can access, establish regular check-ins with trusted friends who aren't family members. The work gives me operational purpose beyond my consulting practice. Margaret always said engineering should solve human problems, not just mechanical ones. This foundation represents applied engineering for family dysfunction, systematic solutions for trust vulnerabilities. Vincent sends occasional emails through the Foundation's legal department, requests for financial assistance, claims that he's learned from his mistakes, suggestions that family forgiveness would demonstrate Christian values. I forward them to our cybersecurity team as examples of continued manipulation attempts. His current operational status remains degraded. The warehouse supervisor position provides minimal income barely sufficient for basic living expenses. His personal credit rating has been permanently compromised. No financial institution will approve him for loans, credit cards, or even basic checking accounts without co-signers. More significantly, his access to future elderly victims has been severely limited. His conviction for elder financial abuse appears on background checks, making employment in financial services or healthcare impossible. Lisa's divorce decree included restraining orders that prevent unsupervised contact with his children until they reach legal adulthood. The justice calculations were precise. Vincent wanted immediate access to wealth he hadn't earned. Instead, he received long-term consequences for decisions he couldn't reverse. But the most satisfying outcome wasn't his punishment. It was the validation of Margaret's engineering brilliance. She diagnosed a complex family system failure and designed countermeasures that operated flawlessly even after her death. Her solution required no violence, no illegal activity, no moral compromises, just superior planning and better understanding of human motivational systems. The house in Carmel has become my new operational headquarters. The ocean view provides perspective that helps with strategic thinking. Margaret would have loved watching the fog roll in each evening, the way it transforms the landscape with systematic precision. I've started teaching engineering ethics at UC Santa Cruz as an adjunct professor. Young engineers need to understand that technical skills without moral frameworks create dangerous system vulnerabilities. They learn about tolerance specifications and load calculations, but not about trust, exploitation, and family betrayal. The course covers real-world case studies. The Challenger disaster, the Ford Pinto fuel tank design, financial fraud schemes that target elderly engineering retirees. Students analyze each failure mode and develop prevention protocols. They're required to write papers on professional responsibility and ethical decision-making under pressure. Several students have asked about my personal experience with family financial fraud. I tell them Margaret's story, how a dying woman used her final weeks to out-engineer a sophisticated theft operation, how systematic documentation and legal preparation can defeat emotional manipulation, how justice sometimes requires patience and precision rather than immediate confrontation. They're impressed by her technical approach to personal problems. Engineering minds appreciate elegant solutions that address root causes rather than symptoms. The Foundation has started offering scholarships to engineering students who demonstrate both technical excellence and ethical reasoning. We're funding research into elder abuse prevention technologies, monitoring systems that detect unusual financial activity, communication platforms that help elderly people maintain independence while staying connected to trusted resources. Margaret's legacy isn't just the money she protected or the justice she engineered for Vincent. It's the systematic approach to solving human problems that continues expanding through the Foundation's work. I maintain regular contact with Kevin Rodriguez, who now serves as our chief investigator. His team has developed protocols for documenting family financial fraud that can withstand federal prosecution standards. They've trained law enforcement agencies in 12 states on elder abuse investigation techniques. Tim Walsh remains our primary legal counsel, though he's semi-retired now. He takes the most complex cases, situations where families have been systematically victimized for years before seeking help. His success rate in asset recovery remains above 95%. The Foundation operates like a well-designed machine. Efficient intake procedures, systematic investigation protocols, coordinated legal response strategies, comprehensive follow-up support. Margaret would appreciate the operational excellence, but the real measure of our success isn't statistics or recovery rates. It's the phone calls from elderly people who've learned to recognize manipulation before it devastates their financial security. The emails from families who've implemented our prevention protocols. The reports from banks whose employees stopped fraudulent transactions because they'd been trained to recognize warning signs. Prevention always represents better engineering than post-failure remediation. Now, I'm curious about something. Have you ever dealt with financial manipulation from family members? Maybe not theft exactly, but pressure to make financial decisions that primarily benefit someone else. The patterns we see at the Foundation suggest this problem is more widespread than most people realize. Family financial abuse isn't limited to dramatic cases like Vincent's systematic fraud. It includes adult children who pressure elderly parents to co-sign loans they can't afford, relatives who claim temporary hardship and never repay borrowed money, family members who gradually assume control over financial decisions without proper authorization. What would you have done in my situation when you discovered that your own son was systematically stealing from you during your wife's terminal illness? Comment below and let me know your thoughts. And if you found this story valuable, check out these other 2 stories about family financial justice that might surprise you.